Okay guys, in this chapter right here, we're going to find missing angles by using inverse trig functions. Now when we talk about inverse trig functions, you still have to use a calculator to find the answers, but when we punch in the calculator, you have to punch in the second button and then the trig function you want to use, okay? So we'll talk about the calculator in a moment, so let's go over the problems first. So it says find the measure of the indicated angle to the nearest degrees. Okay, so you're given this angle right here. You have to find that angle, and across from that angle is the opposite, and right there that's the hypothenuse. So same thing like last time when we try to figure out the size. Now we'll figure out the angles. Okay, so you would ask yourself what trig function uses opposite over hypothenuse. So that right there has to be sine, right? So we're gonna go sine x degrees equals to 19 over 57. But since we're trying to find the angle, we're going to use the inverse function. So the next step is gonna be x degrees equal to sine inverse 19 over 57. Okay, the calculator part. When you press in your calculator, you see the second or the shift button in a different color. What you want to do is you want to press that first, second, and then you're going to press sine, and that's going to bring up your inverse functions. Okay, now you're going to press 19 divided by 57 and then enter. Then you would get x approximately 19.47, like a long answers. But we want to round it to the nearest degrees, so our answer is going to come out to be approximately 19 degrees. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Okay, number 2, same thing. We're given this angle right here that we have to find, and across from that, that's the opposite, and right here, that's the adjacent. Okay, so same thing, ask yourself what trig function uses opposite over adjacent. So that right there has to be tangent. So tangent x equals to opposite over adjacent. Then since we need to find the angle, we have to use the inverse function. So it'll be tan inverse 11 over 25. Okay, the next part is just calculator. You're gonna press second, and then the tan button, 11 divided by 25, close the parenthesis, entered, and it's going to come out to be 23.749 and so on, right? But we wanted to round it to the nearest degree, so it's going to be 24 degrees. Okay, let's move on to the last problem. In this problem, you have to find this angle right here, and across from that angle, next to that angle is 12, and the hypotenuse of that angle is 16. So that tells me you have to use cosine. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So since we want to find the angle, we have to use the inverse functions. So it'd be 12 over 16. And when you press this onto your calculator, approximately it's going to come out to be 41 degrees. Okay?